What is happening? Why are the children being separated from their families?
9 on your side's Jennifer Martinez breaks it all down for us.
Immigration lawyer Maurice Goldman says the law has always been the same. Nothing has changed. An undocumented person would seek asylum at a port of entry. By law, the United States has an obligation to give individuals a hearing.
Many of them will start with they'll have an interview called a credible fear interview. And that interview will then, determine whether or not they have a credible enough fear to then be referred to see an immigration judge.
Traditionally, they would keep families together. If there were unaccompanied minors or children, they would go through a different path to determine if they've been neglected, abused, or abandoned. What we're seeing now is a zero-tolerance policy for those who don't wait for the asylum process. DHS is immediately charging an adult with entering the country illegally if found on U.S. soil and not at the port of entry.
What they'll do is they'll put them in criminal court proceedings, take the children, separate them, and put them into a separate detention holding.
Goldman says the process to seek asylum has been longer.
I've heard that our government was not processing people as they have traditionally, and people were stuck waiting on the other side of the border, and some people would get impatient.
The Department of Homeland Security says they're only referring undocumented adults who violate the law by crossing the border illegally without entering the proper way. Families will only be separated if they're unable to determine a relationship between the child and the adult, when a child may be at risk with the parents or legal guardians, or when parents are referred to criminal prosecution. According to DHS, they can't hold families in detention beyond 20 days. Goldman says there are still questions with how these families, if ever, will be reunited.
Ultimately, what could happen is the parents could wind up being charged with a crime, put in criminal proceedings, do some time, and then get deported, and the children are still here.
Jennifer Martinez, KGUN 9, on your side.